Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing today, tonight? Whenever you are watching, welcome to another week of Kingdom Builders Credit Repair, Credit and Financial Tips with KB Michelle Green. That's right. If you know me as KB Michelle Green or just Michelle Green, welcome, welcome, welcome into our TV show and our podcast. KBCR is in the house today. Yes, we are so excited that you are here. So thank you for watching. If this is your first time, make sure that you hit that subscribe button because every single Friday from 12 to 12:30, we come on live to talk to you about credit and financial tips. That's right. We give you things that you have not possibly heard of before. And even if you have heard of it before, maybe you have not known about it in the depths of what we explain it for you to understand. So listen, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, make sure that you're liking and that you're sharing. Thank you again for watching, and we are going to talk about how is your credit and your finances working today. Before we get into that, what do we do every single week? We talk about what credit is, and we like to always give some shout outs to the people that are watching and the streaming platforms that we are on. So we just want to give a shout out, of course, to YouTube and to Facebook and all of the platforms that allow us to stream live. But we also want to give a big shout out to our streaming platform, CTR Media Network, where they stream over 3.6 billion viewers every single day in over 175 countries. Okay, so we want to make sure that they know that we appreciate them. So shout out to Dr. Tina J. Ramsey and Curtis Ramsey. If you are trying to get your business seen or heard, or maybe you're just trying to get a message out to the world, then you want to go over to their website, www.ctrmedianetwork.com. Well, if this is your first time watching, I just want to give a precursor that my name again is Michelle Green, and I am here to help you to maneuver through your credit and your finances. I have been in the business of credit and finances for over 30 plus years, starting out as a financial strategist, educator, and advisor myself, and learning that in the field of finances, that majority of the people out here have no idea of what finances or even how to properly manage their credit is about. So as I was in the financial industry, I was able to go on appointments and sit down and talk to people, regular people, everyday people, just like you and I, and finding out that people just really did not have a strategy. They didn't have a plan, and they didn't understand the lingo of credit and finances. So what did I do? I decided to start working on my own credit because I was trying to buy a house, and I was able to fix my credit in 3 months and flip that thing into having assets and having investments and being able to live my best life. Now, I'm not saying that it was all perfect, but what I am saying is that starting out in the financial industry and learning that credit was something that everybody did not know how to manage, that did not know how to fix, that did not know how to even establish a high credit score. Listen, that allowed me the opportunity to open up a business later on in life. And now here we are at Kingdom Builders Credit Repair. So we have established this off of my very own issues with credit. Because back in the day, I actually had my mom who ran up some credit cards in my name. And she was just trying to do what she needed to do as a single parent at the time. And listen, she was able to also, even though she ran up those credit cards in my name and my credit was bad, I was able to learn something from her through some education that she had purchased regarding credit. And there is a book called, I won't tell you the book. I'm not going to share that information, but there is a book that she had that I was able to learn about how to manage credit and finances from years ago. And then that allowed me to fix my credit in 3 months. That's right, 3 months. And ever since that timeline, I have been repairing people's credit, family members, friends, all types of people from all over the world. Listen, people come from the north, south, east, and and west, and that's okay because we welcome you to be here, a part of the Kingdom Builders Credit Repair program. And what do? We process your credit the same way that we always have, even starting with my own credit years ago when I first tried to buy a home and I was denied credit because they said that my credit was horrible. And that was due to the things that my mom had done unknowingly that had ruined my credit. So, what do we want to understand first? We want to understand that there is a history here at Kingdom Builders Credit Repair. This is not a company that just all of a sudden just came on the map and just decided to start doing credit as a line of work for income. Okay, we do credit because we know and we believe that it is important for every individual to understand how their credit works. It is important for every individual to understand how to manage their debts and how to take care of their finances properly. So, in case you didn't know, we here at Kingdom Builders Credit Repair, we have two options. You can join the credit repair program so that you can get your credit fixed, but you also have the opportunity to go over to our Financial Dominion Masterclass that is happening right now today with several amazing students in there, and they are really learning how to take a hold of their money. They're learning how to invest. They're learning how to to protect their money. They're learning how to manage their taxes. They're learning how to set up trust funds and different things like that. So, as it relates to finances, there is no limitation to what we can teach you and help you to learn. So, make sure that you're getting into one of the other. Either you're in the credit repair program so that we can get your credit scores up over 700, all the way up to 850, because that's the highest score that you can have, or that you are involved in our Financial Dominion Masterclass that is established throughout a 6 month period of time for those who want to take their finances all the way to the top of wealth management. That's right. So we want to understand that there are two options here, and we want to give you the opportunity to come on over whenever you're ready so that we can help you to get all the way to the top. That's what we do here at KBCR. We empower you, the elite. We empower you to have financial dominion on purpose. That's what we do. So listen, what we do every single week is we talk a little bit about what credit is. And today we're going to dive into the topic about how is your credit and finances looking. So we want to first explain what is credit. Credit is your ability to be able to borrow money from a lender or some type of financial institution for the things that you need to buy or the things that you want to buy when you don't have enough money to pay for the item. So, as it relates to credit, we want to understand that every single one of us, whenever we are deciding that, okay, we're working a job, we're working in our businesses, and we just don't have that full lump sum of money to be able to buy a house, to buy a car, to be able to maybe even purchase some clothes for our family members as it's time for the kids to go back to school, or maybe it's just wintertime. The seasons are changing. Maybe it's summertime and we got those shorts and those, cute little sundresses, ladies, and we have those shorts, men, and those sandals that we want to purchase, but we just don't have enough money to do that with our regular income. Then credit allows us to be able to borrow the money from a financial institution of some sort. It could be the bank where you have your bank account at. It could be the credit union. It could be a different type of bank, like an online bank, a national or regional bank. Regardless of what type of financial institution is going to finance you, what you need to understand about credit is simply that credit is established through someone who allows you to borrow the money right now, today, instantly, so that you can pay it back over a period of time. So, if you have credit already established, then you know that you have payments that are set up in installments. Installments are nothing more than a monthly amount with interest that you have to pay back for whatever you borrowed. And when you have a good reputation with credit, then you have the ability to borrow even more credit. So I do want us to understand, for those of us who are just kind of starting out in the beginning phases of managing our credit, of paying attention to our credit now, of thinking about what it is that we need to do in the future with our credit, is that the more credit that you have and the more that you can keep your word to pay back what you borrowed is going to be the highest credit score that you can have. So the more you are able to manage more items of credit. I know a lot of times what we do is we tend to decide that we don't want to stay in debt, right? Of course, who wants to be indebted to anyone? Nobody does. However, what I want you to understand about credit is right up there with the air that we breathe. So inhale, exhale. We are looking at the fact that credit is right up there with the oxygen, the air that we breathe in and out every single day. There is an opportunity for us to be able to gain new credit. And we want to understand that as it relates to the different debts that we accrue, the different credit items that end up on our credit reports, our three major credit reporting agencies are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. But there's also a fourth credit bureau that keeps track of our information, and that is called a Novus. So a Novus, as well as Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, are constantly keeping up with all of the different items that are on our credit reports. And we need to understand that it's so crucial for us to keep our word. We got to keep our word regarding our credit, meaning that we have to pay back the money that we actually borrow. Now, should we run into a situation like life happens all the time, where maybe you have a sickness of some sort, you have some kind of health condition that all of a sudden you find out about, maybe you have someone in your family that you have to care for where your monies are not actually coming in the way that it used to, then, or you may have death in the family, maybe a marriage, a birth, or something that's going to alter your finances to the degree that you don't have the ability to constantly pay on the debt that you borrow. Well, I want you to know that just like those things that happen in our life as an emergency are very important and crucial to us handling in that moment, it is also crucial for you to understand that don't just ignore the responsibilities that you have of your credit, because it is going to come back and bite you in the butt. I promise you, it's going to go back and bite you in the tail, because eventually, if you decide that you're going to stop paying on the debt, then something's going to circle back around to where you're going to need credit again. And in that moment that you need credit again, it's always where we forgot about that we didn't finish paying off a creditor. We didn't finish paying off that loan or that credit card. And then we are in a pickle because we are like, I really need to get whatever it is that I don't have enough money for right now today. So how can we offset that? We just need to understand that even though we're going to have life issues, even though we are going to have issues that surround us around taking some of the money that we have prepared to pay for the debts or the credit items that are on our credit reports, even though life happens, we still have to be responsible and accountable for making sure that we pay our credit items. We have to pay for the debt. We cannot eliminate it for a long period of time, maybe 30 days or so, but let's get back into the routine of making sure that we analyze what companies we have frequently decided to go to obtain the credit, and let's also look at how well have we paid those companies back. We cannot just go through day to day and assuming that it's just all going to get figured out. I don't care what the circumstances are. When I say that it's always going to be something that can take that money from you, from paying for that creditor, that lender that trusted you in that moment to say that, yes, I will give you a chance to get this loan. I will give you a chance to get this type of debt. Maybe you needed a car. Maybe you wanted to buy a house. Maybe you decided that you needed that credit card because you needed to help take care of the responsibilities of shopping for your kids, of going out and taking care of basic grooming necessities. Whatever the situation, you got to remember that that is a opportunity that if you don't do right by that one creditor, that two creditors, or three or four or five creditors, that is always going to come back around to the equation of you needing some more credit, and whatever you did with the previous creditors is going to impact how you're able to move forward with your credit today. So if you have any questions around your particular situation, because listen, there are no two people whose credit is exactly alike, then what you want to do is go over to www.kingdombuilderscreditrepair right now. Right now, today, that's kingdombuilderscreditrepair.com, and get into our credit repair program. Now, if you're already in the program, let's schedule a time where we can sit down and go over what is happening with your credit today. Because, see, because no two people are exactly the same with their credit, everybody is going to have a unique type of situation as it relates to their strategy in obtaining a higher credit score. So please don't just generalize your credit with everybody else's credit, because there are different scenarios for every single person that has ever taken on any lender or creditor that exists in this world today. It's kind of like our fingerprints in our voice, in our eye retina. It's kind of like that no two people have any of those things exactly the same. So that's how we want to take on our credit perspective. Our credit perspective is ours. Even if we are married to someone and we have joint accounts, even if we have authorized users a part of our credit, which is not something, by the way, that I would recommend. We should not be establishing credit for the purpose of having someone else ride our coattail of credit. We should never ever have any authorized users. If we are trying to establish a child's credit that just graduated from high school, if we are trying to establish our own credit, and we just know that maybe a sibling, a parent, or someone, a spouse, has a better credit reporting than what we do, the best way to go about it is still to establish your own credit. So regardless of who has credit that is similar or that has a higher credit score, what we want to understand is that no two people are exactly alike. So you cannot take the points for the person who has the higher credit and assume that you're going to get those points just because you connected your credit to theirs. All right. But everybody needs to establish their own individual accounts. You also need a combination of revolving credit and installment credit. So, Michelle, what is installment credit? Installment credit is simply your ability to be able to pay back any type of loan. So, let's list the types of loans that are available out there. You have, first of all, we have the furniture loan, we have the personal loan, we have the vehicle loan, we have the student loans, and we have the mortgage loans. So if we look at a list of types of loans that we can borrow money in exchange for possibly collateral, in exchange for possibly furniture, appliances, if there is a loan of some type, it is known as an installment loan. So, an installment is nothing more than your ability to be able to pay a loan back. And once that loan is completely paid off, then your account will close. And as your loan is paid off and closed, did you know that your credit score is going to drop? Did you know that even if you do the right thing by paying off the debt that is on your credit as a loan or even a credit card, that if there is no activity on a revolving line of credit, and if there is a loan that you paid off that automatically closes when you pay it off, that your credit score will drop. That means it will go down usually by about 50 points or whatever the amount of points that you had when the account was open and active. Now you lose those amount of points because the account is closed. So what I want us to understand about credit is it's really, it's a little challenging if you don't know exactly what you are doing with your credit. So come on over to KBCR because we are the experts that can take care of your credit and guide you through a one-on-one strategy session every 30 to 45 days to let you know exactly what you need to do to correct the issues around your particular situation with your credit. Okay. And one of the other things that we want to look at is with the revolving credit. So many of us have credit cards. We have heard a million times in the social media streets and all over is that financially, if you are trying to build your credit, you always want to go and get a secured credit card. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's all right for you to have a credit card or two or three, and everyone should have a baseline foundation of at least 5 to 6 accounts on their credit. And we will teach you how to set that up if you don't have any credit today. But the thing about revolving credit is that there are strategic ways to manage a credit card or even a department store card, which is what we used to call charge accounts. So, when it relates to a revolving line of credit, what we have to do is make sure that we are applying 3 simple practices. The first practice is that we never ever want to get a credit card and go over 30% of the credit limit. Now, I know that you may have heard this before, but do you also understand that managing your credit card balance between 15 to 30% is going to give you 50 points towards your credit score? Usually, when we manage our credit cards, we don't think about what our balances are as much as we think about what our available credit is. Your available credit should not be something that you're focused on. Your available credit is the thing that draws you in to fool you to believe that you have an opportunity to use whatever that available credit is. But I'm here to tell you that all credit cards, all department stores, the way that you want to manage in order for you to have 50 points or more is that you have to make sure that you are keeping the card under what? You have to keep the card under 30%. If you keep it between 15 to 30%, then you will always be in a position to be able to have that credit card managed to a degree that you are doing well. You are doing very well because what that's going to do is say that you know how not to spend every single penny from the credit card. All right. The next thing that you're looking at is making sure that the credit card is never paid down to zero. So you never ever want to pay your credit card down to zero. You want to make sure that you leave some type of a small balance to carry over to the next bill cycle and making sure that the payments are received before the due date. Now, there is a big difference between a due date and a bill cycle date. So I want you to understand and know that we have to make sure that we understand the difference between these types of things, and we can teach you that in a one-on-one session at KBCR. All right. And then the last thing that you have to do to manage your credit card properly is to make sure that your credit card, are you ready? To make sure your credit card is used every 2 weeks. That's right. You have to make sure that you are charging something on your credit card on a regular basis, not just one time every quarter, not just every blue moon when you decide that you're ready to go buy something. Credit cards and department store cards are there for the purpose of utilization. If you have the utilization, you keep the card above a $5 balance and you don't go over 30%, you keep it between 15 to 30% of your balance at all times, then guess what? You will see your credit soar. You will see your credit score go up so fast. You will see it go up through the roof because you will then be managing your credit and your finances properly. Because see what we're not told are the do's and don'ts about credit truthfully. Now, when you think about the people that are lending us the credit, you have to understand that they have a job to make money. And in them making the money, guess what? It doesn't always mean that the advice that you are given is always going to be the advice that is beneficial to you. So that's why we created the KBCR TV show and the KBCR podcast so that every single week on Friday from 12 to 12:30, you can listen in and get the credit and financial tips that are beneficial to you. And if you want to take this a little step further, like I said, go to our website, click on the Let's Talk button, and tell us who you are and what your situation is and how we can help you. We will give you a call, get you in a strategy session, and we will take a look at every single thing that's on your Equifax, your Experian, your TransUnion, and even your Innovis credit report so that we can help position you for a 850 credit score. Listen, the time is now for us to begin to change our finances. The time is now for us to be able to change how our credit has been looking and ignoring those situations when it's definitely going to be evident that eventually you're going to have a good credit score to get what you need. There is no way that we can live in today's society, especially in the United States of America, and decide that we can just go on day after day after day without having a good credit score and just having the money. The money is not going to replace the credit, not one day at all. So I want us to understand how crucial and important it is for us to make sure that our credit is established with high credit scores. Minimally, you need a 700 to a 720 to have an excellent score. If you're looking at a mid range of an average score that most people have just so that they are able to purchase a house, so that their bottom line is that they can get the house, they can get the things that they need to purchase. You're talking about between I would say a 640 to about a 680 credit score. If you're in that range, then that's what we call the middle class credit score. And if you're over that 680, then you're talking about an excellent score that you'd be able to go anywhere, get the low interest rate, get the lower monthly payment, being able to have lesser timelines of how long it's going to take you to pay off your debt. Those are the opportunities that you get to have when you have a higher credit score. So if you're struggling with a large monthly payment and you're struggling right now with a higher interest rate, give us a call. That's 844-522-7552 is our contact number. And you see our information scrolling along the bottom of the screen right now. Don't hesitate anymore. It's time for you to begin to change your life so you can get into a session where we can get your credit scores over 700 and all the way up to 850. Yes, that's right. You can do it, and we can do it together with you and make sure that you achieve so much more in your life that you ever thought was possible. So, listen, thank you guys for watching today. Again, if you are not subscribed, make sure that you are subscribed today. Let's stop playing this dating game and let's lock in. We want you to be subscribed so that you will be able to set your notifications and you'll never miss another episode of the Kingdom Builders Credit Repair TV show and the KBCR podcast. You can listen to us on Amazon Music, Spotify. You can listen to us on Apple Music, or if you are able to sit down and turn your TV on, if you got a smart TV, listen, put us on the TV screen and let your whole household Listen in and learn about credit and financial tips with yours truly, Michelle Green, also known as KB Michelle Green. Listen, thank you all for watching again today. We are so appreciative of every single viewer, and thank you for allowing us to be an influence to your life today. All right, we'll see you next time. Until then, guys, take care. We appreciate you so much. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.